just a couple of bowls to chuck some shit in. This will come together really quickly.
Oh, which you love.
So jump on in when you're ready. Is everyone good to go? This is a good little stir-fry dish. It's actually out of the Chin Chin book. I've just kind of changed it. You can actually use any mince. Pork works really well. I think, Wallace, you're using turkey from memory. So, yeah, it's really, really good. If you're not using a mortar and pestle, you'll use your NutriBullet twice to make a little bit of a paste. So first things first, what I want you to do is grab your coriander. I know it's Claire's favourite. All right. So what you're going to do is just trim the roots just very slightly, because we're going to use them in our paste. You just want to just try and get rid of those. All right. There's actually some really good flavour in those. The rest can go in the bin. All right. What we're going to do is I'm probably going to use all that coriander because I like it. I know there were some haters earlier in the week.
I'm a hater. I'm off it.
Really?
It's horrible. Horrendous even.
That surprises me. All I'm going to do is chop it in half. And then I'm going to just dump it in a heap of water. All right. If you're using it, keep that like a bam, because we'll use that to our advantage for the beans. All right. One shit thing about coriander, and I know some people might not be using it, which is cool. It can be a little bit gritty and dirty. So I like to always make sure, like, just cover it in water. All right. And then cover it in water, and then we'll deal with it later. All right, we won't actually need the leaves until right at the end, and then yeah, you'll just get rid of a heap of sand. When you tip that out, you'll notice a lot of dirt and grit in your coriander. I'll show you a tip at the end to how to save your herbs. All right, keep that lacquer band nearby. You'll use that when you want to chop the beans. All right, now we're going to do our rice. All right, this is really interesting because we're actually going to toast the rice. We're going to use a bit of lemongrass in the rice. We've got some Kaffir Lime leaves, which, Wallace, you got in the jar, so you might just want to pat them dry. You don't want any moisture in there. Just maybe put it on a bit of paper towel. What I want you to do with your one stalk of lemongrass is just take the back of your knife and just knock the bottom off it, so the thicker end off. All right. You just want to get rid of that woodier bit. It won't actually matter. But what I want you to do is just give it a bash with the back of your knife, and that will, you just want to just give it a good whack. That will release some of the oils, and we're actually just going to chuck that in with the rice. All right. Give it a good sniff. You should smell that perfume of the lemongrass come out. It's actually a really nice smell. So just give it a big bash, and chuck that in the pan that you're going to use your rice with. All right. Kaffir Lime leaves. We've got a tree, so I didn't actually have to buy any, which I'm thankful for. Look at this bastard. Look at what I dragged home. Bigger than most. It's really unusual with the Kaffir Lime leaf. It's like doubled up. All right. So it's got like two kind of leaves in one. Gets confusing in recipes. You can scrunch that up, chuck it in. I'm going to chuck 2 in, whatever you can get your hands on. All right. I'm just going to use some jasmine rice left over from some HelloFresh. All right. Anything you can get your hands on. When I first made this recipe, I was like, what the fuck? What's going on with that dry rice shit? And I was like, oh, it's actually really, really flavorful. So no oil, no nothing. Just tip your ice in with your lemongrass and your Kaffir lime. And you're just going to put that on the stove, medium heat. Just watch it. We just want to get it to a nice kind of nutty kind of flavour. All right, and that actually produces a lot of nice flavour for the dish. And whatever you don't use, you can store in an airtight container, and it will last a while. It's good on stir fries, salads. It just brings a lot of flavour. It's just a good whack of flavour in your anything you want to put it on. So just keep an eye on that in the background. All right, it will do its thing. We'll actually take the lemongrass and Kaffir Lime out. Now, what you want to do is anyone using a mortar and pestle? Or are you all using your NutriBullets?
NutriBullet.
NutriBullet? That's cool.
NutriBullet.
NutriBullet, yeah. All right. So I'm going to do mine in the mortar and pestle because I'm tradish and classy as fuck. So what you have to do is effectively just put it in the container for your NutriBullet. All right. And effectively what we're going to do is just going to make a bit of a paste with some ingredients. So what you want to chuck into your mortar and pestle is some peppercorns if you've got some, or just straight up pepper. But we can do that last once there's something in there. The recipe in the Chin Chin book calls for white pepper, but good crack of anything you got. Just roughly chop them if you're going to chuck them in the NutriBullet. Makes that job easier. So I've got 1, 2 chilies. I think I've got a third somewhere because I'm hardcore, you know. Just got to chop them up roughly, whatever you can get your hands on. The recipe suggests the scud ones, which are ridiculously blow your head off hot. I'll just stick with the long red ones. Save half of one or maybe one for garnish on the top, but doesn't really matter. Depends how hot you like it. You know your own taste buds. I've got 5 garlic cloves here, 4 pretty big ones and a wussy looking one. I'm just going to smash them with the heel of my knife and peel them. So just squash down. If I'm going too quick, guys, yell out. This is effectively what it's like teaching. Claire will agree. Hey guys, you got any feedback for me? Can you tell me if I'm going too fast or too slow? Silence. Sorry, I'm venting.
They wouldn't answer you anyway because they wouldn't have their mics on. So
you can just roughly chop the garlic into some manageable pieces. This will come together really quick. This could be the fastest Moose meals ever. I know time kind of disappears when I say that, but you'll be surprised. This is actually a really nice, quick, easy dinner and really adaptable. So what other veggies you got you want to add in? Just a real good basic stir fry salad. Don't worry if you've got a little bit of skin in your garlic cloves, chop them in your mortar and pestle or your kitchen whizzer. Go back and check your rice. So it will actually dry out pretty quick. Just want to get it to a nice toasty kind of consistency and flavour. You can go a bit brown. Garlic's been a bit painful. Normally I just grate it. Yeah. All right, we've got our salt. We've got chili and garlic. Now you want to hit it with a pinch of salt and some pepper. Be generous, as always. I'm going to use white pepper just because it says so, but if you don't have it, don't worry about it. All right, now we're going to look at that coriander. Just grab a bit of paper towel and we'll just want to dry it off slightly. I'm going to grab like the stalk end of what we're using. All right, says half a bunch. So grab all your stalk ends out and maybe just try and work out roughly half. Try and use predominantly all the stalks, all right? And just try and pat that down on the paper towel. This is my last bit of paper towel because I'm an idiot, and when I went to the supermarket, I left it on the actual, I actually paid for it, but left it where it is. So just give that a bit of a pat down. That's cool. You just want to try and remove some of that excess water. All right, I'm going to rough chop that and chuck that in with the chili and garlic. Stalks and all.
Hey, Sparky, no.
All right, I'm going to go back and check it. Just give that a bit of a mix. You don't want to burn it like I almost have. I'll bring it over. You can see starting to get a bit of colour on the rice. I'm just going to watch it now, and then we'll just take it off the heat. Right, don't want it to burn. All right, just get a little, whatchamacallit, spoon, maybe a spatula. All right, just keep moving it. I'll bring you over so I don't leave you in the dark. Hey, there we go. Look at that. So just want to make sure it's getting nice and toasted with a little bit of colour. Should smell a bit of that Kaffir lime leaf and lemongrass coming through. A little bit longer. All right, once your rice has got your colour and it looks pretty roasty and toasty and it's taken on some of those flavours, just turn that heat off. All right, just put it somewhere where it's not going to burn, because you'll take the lemongrass and Kaffir lime leaf out of that and we'll whiz that up towards the back end after you've done your paste. All right, so just leave that to do its thing. It will continue to cook a little bit with the residual heat in the pan. All right. So what you need to do next is, these on the Vino Wallace. It's game. School night. No drinking on a school night.
Bit of vino quarantino.
Quinton. All right, so I think we got everything into the mortar and pestle or your NutriBullet. All you want to do now is just create a nice little rough paste that we're going to fry off. So I'm going old school, but you guys just put it in your NutriBullet, maybe 5 seconds. All right. Now I know when I use the NutriBullet, it's a pain in the ass and it sometimes doesn't work. So if you need to chuck a bit of oil in or something like that to get it moving around, you can. Or anything really, you can get. Yeah, anything you need to do it with. I'm just gonna make. You're just looking to make a rough paste. So it doesn't have to be smooth or like a puree. Just something you want to. That resembles a rough paste, really. It's a bit cathartic or therapeutic to use the mortar and pestle, so I jumped at the opportunity. Because coriander is the predominant ingredient, that'll probably take on the colour. So if it's looking green, you're probably doing a good job. Excuse the noise. If you don't have one of these, you can use any bowl or like a rolling tin, tilt it on its side. Or you can do it in the whizzer. I've done that before. How's yours looking, Wallace? Right, you're in? Yeah, put a bit of oil in there. Might make it a bit more workable. Got some chili in my eye. Know you're having a good day. Woo. Happy days. Woo. This falls under Virtus, yeah, Wallace. If I hurt myself, I can claim, yeah.
What's that?
This comes under, if I hurt myself, I can claim work cover, can't I? It comes under work.
No, you're talking about you've got your own Insta now, so probably tick that box. Probably get JobKeeper though.
I'm happy with my paste. As I said, doesn't have to be amazing. Just going to scrape my, I don't ever know which one's the mortar or which one's the pestle. I'm going to scrape the smasher down and get that into a bowl. You guys might want to do the same and just give it a bit of a rinse out because you're going to whiz your rice in that mortar, in the NutriBullet as well. Try and get all the goodness you've created out of your vessel. All right. That looks good. Put that over where you're going to need it at your wok, so wherever your gas stove is. You won't need the mortar and pestle again, so I can put that away. One shit thing about using it, it's bastard to clean, but we'll get over it. The rest is just about getting everything ready because effectively what you'll do is you'll cook your mince, chuck everything, mince and beans really quickly, and then you chuck your sauces in, and then it's put all your garnishy things on top. So from here, it's just getting getting everything ready. So the only two things you cook in this dish are the beans and the chicken mince. The rest all stay raw. All right, so we'll just get everything ready. Now, what I'm going to do is show you a little trick, because cutting beans is pretty annoying, right? So I told you to keep that like a band handy before, right? Because what we're looking for is just like small little rounds of beans that look like this. All right, so we're looking for that kind of sliced up bean action. So what you can do is grab a good handful of your beans. I'm going to use all this bag, all right, and just try and line them up in a nice little bunch, because if you went through and tried to do this individually, it'd take for ages. We're about quickness on Moo's meals. We're not about faffing around. All right, so what you want to do is you get your bunch of beans like this, wrap your lacquer band around it. You want to have it somewhere in the middle. All right, this is a good little tip too if you want to top and tail beans as well. I think I thought I went for the ones that were already top and tail, but sometimes the ends can be a little bit ratty. No, we're not a Michelin star restaurant yet, but it is annoying. All right, so what you can do is now is try and line them all up at the same kind of length. It's always a bit tricky because they're all same lengths. What you're going to do is just going to knock the ends off, most of them. All right, they can go to your chooks or your compost. Now you can cut multiple beans at once. All right, and the lacquer band will do a really good job at holding them together. So, like I showed you before, just slice down. Doesn't have to be spectacularly accurate, but you just want some nice little, I guess the technical word for the shape is a cylinder or a disc. And repeat the process until all your beans are chopped up. Beans are really good. They're not actually in the original chin chin recipe, but I really enjoyed them in there. Just adds a little bit of texture and just a little bit of goodness. Once you get to the middle, it gets a little bit more tricky. Just try your best. Or you can keep them for something else. But good little quick way of doing that. Or if you don't think it is, just do it the other way. I'll race you. Sharp knife helps always as well. I can smell that rice. It's good. It's perfuming my house. Got rid of the stragglers. You know what I found weird today? That there was the local primary school, and it was on today. And one of Marley's friends teachers there, they drove around like all of Rosebud and McRae, just like on like a massive like parade, all the teachers in the cars, like during school time, just like saying, "Well done, we miss you." Like, who was actually effectively teaching the kids at that point in time? That's what I want to know.
Sometimes positive reinforcement's more important than learning, I guess.
Yeah, I found it really weird. And like as they drove past with all their horns, they had like all music going, like a big speaker attached to the roof of one of the cars. So I was like trying to teach my year 12s, and I was like, I just got distracted by looking out the window.
Wouldn't get that tomfoolery in Kiwi rap, would you?
I just felt like just saying, go back to your shanties. I'm trying to teach, but probably not too well. Sorry if I've offended any primary school teachers watching. I don't think there is any. So normally we have a couple. All right, beans are done. Next is you can put them over with your paste and chicken mince. I'm going to do that now. Put that over there. All right. How are we going for time? Not too bad. I'll use them in something else. Excuse my waffling. All right. Shallots are next. Just want to try and thinly slice them. If you don't have a shallot and you want to use a red onion, that's fine. I've done that in the past with this recipe. You also might want to take out your coriander if you're using it, just so you can dry it off. I'm just going to do that. Just dry it off in anything you've got left. Paper towel. I'm reusing, so it's all good. Shallots can be a little bit painful to chop. Just treat them like an onion. In the actual recipe, Benjamin Cooper, who's the main chef out of Chin Chin, he says cut them pretty thick. So up to you guys what you want to do. There's something about a big whack of raw onion in a dish that doesn't sit well with me. So I'm going to go pretty thin, but not mandolin thin, but just the best I can do with your knife. So I'm sure whatever you guys come up with is going to be totally fine. And what I'm going to do is just going to put that in a bowl with all my other bits and pieces. So you'll put like your lime leaves in there, and your lemongrass and your mint and your coriander as well. So you can just cut them in half. All right, I'm going to go horizontally instead of vertically, just so they stay roughly the same width. I'm going to go across the onion, not down, or the shallot. I've got 4 here. I'm not going to use all 4. Some of them are quite big. Probably go 3. If you keep like some part of the core on, it will make it easier to chop as well. So just not nick off a little bit of the end where the root is, and then chop it in half, and then we'll keep everything in place when you try and cutting. And you can just get rid of the last bit when you're chopping across your onion. After we've done this, we'll blitz up our rice and pick some mint leaves and some coriander leaves, and then we're pretty much going to be done. And it's all about just frying off and yippity-doo-dah, yippity-yay. It's time to eat dinner. So I can get on before Master. If I can be done before MasterChef, I'll be a happy man. I don't even know what. I didn't watch last night, so I know who left, but I don't know what they're doing. One more. That's a double banger. So I'll get actually 2 out of that one. Fun times. Right, I got about that much. All right. This will, you probably get almost close to 3 or 4 serves out of this, depending on how hungry you are, of course. So I'm just going to cut these up now. Just going to wipe my knife down. All right, so just a rough slice. And throw away that core bit. If you wanted to be really pedantic, you could use the mandolin. Just bought me a new one, which is kind of cool. It has like a hopper in it, so you can just chuck like this kind of stuff and garlic in it, and it does all the hard work for you, and you don't actually have to hold it. You'll use the guard, because the hopper is the guard itself. So, don't have to be perfect, as I keep saying. Whatever your knife skills can allow you to do. Mine aren't perfect as well, so my knife skills, so just try your best. All right, so I'm just going to chuck them into this big silver bowl, because we'll end up chucking a few more things in it, because I used the other one. You can just kind of break them up a bit. But you'll end up chucking that in with your mince and beans at the end. Mine are very pungent. I'm starting to cry. I'm getting emotional. All right. Next thing we can attack is lemongrass. So what you want to do, you've got your lemongrass stalk. All right. I'm just going to, you only want to use like the white part. All right. So knock the end off, the woody part. All right. And I like to try and just nick off the first couple of, first set of leaves. All right. That's pretty thick and woody. And as you can see, after you've done that, it leaves like a nice, like little white part of the lemongrass. All right. What you want to do now, I find, is probably going to go about up to there. All right. The rest of it you can chuck in like a soup or a stock or something like that. So it is going to be quite resistant when you cut, so you're going to have to push down pretty hard. All right. And then I'm going to try and cut that in half again, just so it's going to be easier to cut. Now this is a tricky bit. So if you can just maybe nick off an edge and give it a flat surface, will make your job a little bit easier. All right. And then I've cut that in half again.
Lost your move.
Oh, jeez, I think you see that. All right. So that's my lemongrass. Just thinly sliced as best as you can. Stuff that in with your onion. All right. And then once Jess gets here, I'll show you what to do with the Kaffir lime leaves. And then we're almost there. Just got to whiz our rice, pick some mint and coriander. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Ah, you're right. Take your time, Jess. We're in no rush. Trying to connect my phone to the hotspot on my phone. This is what it does. All right. Yeah. So I'll get Jess. Take that chair down. If you want.
Yeah.
Jesus. You come in for 1 second, you smash up the joint. I'll put you in charge of that.
Yeah.
Oh, my microphone is muted. You can't see it now, which is annoying, I guess.
Here we go.
We're good?
Yeah.
Everyone here all right?
Yeah, we're all good.
We're all good. All right. So what we want to do now is attack our little kaffir lime leaves. They've got a stalk that run down the middle. Okay. I'm going to use 3. So effectively it's 6 leaves. All right. You just want to remove that stem part, which is down the middle, to the best of your abilities. All right. Because what we want to do is just do a fine julienne on these leaves. All right. Because they're pretty fibrous. All right. So we want to try and cut them up as small as we can. And what we'll do is we'll roll them into a little cigar shape and then try and get our nice skills going so we can cut them really, really, really small. You should smell that kind of smell straight away. And what you want to do is just try and match them up because we're going to roll it into a nice little tight cigar shape. We want to just chop them up nice and fine. I'm not going to worry about those bits because they'll just fall out anyway. So if you line them up all in the same order of shape, of direction, it'll make it really easy. So what you want to do is just try and roll that with your fingers. So something like that. Or that even. I haven't done a really good job with that, but kind of get the idea. And then we're just going to try and cut some nice fine strips. That's what I kind of got it to. If you're a bit worried, if you think they're too thick, you can run your knife through them again, but I think that'll be okay. All right, mint leaves next. So we're going to be a little bit pedantic with our mint leaves because the stem isn't that great. So all I want you to do is just grab about half a bunch of the mint and just pick the leaves off, just leave the stem. All right, and then effectively they'll go in. Now, some mint leaves can be rather big, so you might want to give them a rough chop. Yeah, so it says half a bunch of mint. This is a big bunch, so I'm not going to obviously use half. You don't want mint tongue when you're eating probably this. Can be overpowering, so I'd say like just a handful is probably what you're going for.
Sparky. Hey. That's fine.
I don't want any stem in there. If you did get some, it's not going to matter. So just try and pick some nice leaves. Right, I'm pretty happy with the bounty I have. So we'll get rid of the rest of that mint. Yeah. Right, just grab them up in a nice little ball. All right, what you want to do first before you chop them is actually just grab them and then just give it a clap in your hands. It just gets the oils and the flavors going. So just give it a big whack like that. And straight away you'll smell the release of the mint. I'm just going to roughly chop mine. So just go 1, 2. All right, that can go in your bowl with your onions and your lemongrass and your Kaffir lime leaves.
Is it connected at all?
No, all good. So what you want to do is the same with your coriander. I know some of you aren't using it. That's fine. That's pretty good. I don't mind if there's a bit of stem in there. You can be really pedantic and just use the stalks, but it's fine. I'm just going to do rough chop of that as well. So you just go 1, 2. I'm happy like that. All right. That is essentially the salad component of the Larb Gai done. All right. So I'm just going to grab a little cloth. Just give it a little bit of a wipe in. I don't think there's anything else really to do. All right, so now what we're going to do is whiz up your rice. I know some of you already used your whiz up. I use the mortar and pestle. So just give it a rinse out and a quick dry. Probably actually won't even matter if you did. Make sure you take out the coriander stalk.
Lemongrass.
And coriander stalk. Lemongrass stalk and the Kaffir lime leaf. You don't want to blitz that up. Chuck your rice in, and you just want to make a nice fine powder. Chuck that in your whizzer. Try not to spill it everywhere. And just let that go until it's a nice fine powder. All right, you can chuck a bit of salt in there too. It's not going to hurt. And if you've got some pepper as well, that's totally fine. You'll actually be surprised how much of flavoursome hit this is at the end. So it's actually really, really nice. It's really good. Jessica Grace must be true. All right, so over to the whizzing station. Thank you, my trusty kitchen assistant. All right, we're just going to whiz that up. As I said, I'm awful at using this thing, so yeah, put it on the actual bench, Jared. We just have a powder. All right. Yeah, you can use this in soups or salads. You can give it a nice smell. It smells really roasty and toasty. It smells really nice.
It smells delicious.
As I said, that will give it a good punch of flavour. I might actually just grab one of those dried Kaffir lime leaves and just get that in there as well. I might actually whiz it up with the lemongrass in there. Just a tiny little bit.
Heck. So what, re-whiz it?
I'm going to re-whiz it just for a bit of extra flavour. I don't think it'll hurt too much. And I've got some lemongrass to use up as well. I'll just
That'll be okay.
try not to put the stalk in there as well. And I'm going to add some salt in as well, just for an extra flavour boost. So all I've done is just chucked in. You might have a smaller stalk of lemongrass left over. If not, you can pull the dead stuff off that and chuck it in. Or, yeah, just whatever you can get your hands on. Add some salt. I'm going to add some pepper as well. I'm going to re-whiz it, just so we can get some extra flavour in there. And when we put it on top of our salad, it will be delicious. Just a bit more perfume.
Limey.
Yep. So a bit of extra flavour in there. We're ready to go. All right. So if you're going to have a chili on top, I'd suggest you cut that now, because at the end of this portion, it's going to be ready to go. So just a couple of chili rounds on top. How many you like is totally up to you. And I think you might have some fried shallots left over from previous Moo's meals. If you've got some, you might want to chuck them on top as well, just for a little bit of extra texture. So you can get them out. I know they went on the list, but may as well use them if you got them. All right. Serving dish, salad. Take your oyster sauce and fish sauce over to your wok. And any oil you're using. I'm going to use vegetable oil today. Peanut oil would be fine. Whatnot. I'm just going to put a little bit of oil down in my wok. All right. And then I'm just going to wipe it with some paper towel. One of the last bits we've got left. I left that at the supermarket.
Oh, did you? Yes.
Shine your wok up. All right. Yeah, just make sure you got everything ready. We're going to use fish sauce, oyster sauce, and that's pretty much it, really. Yeah. So what you want to do is chuck a little bit of extra oil in your wok. All right. Jess is hungry. She's going for some snacks.
All
All right, we're going to turn our wok on. That's the wrong burner. All right, we want to get that nice and hot. Yeah, I think that.
She ate all the biscuits.
Or crumbs. I'll let you a couple. All right, bring your beans over as well, because they'll go in. All right, the first thing that's going to go in, we're just going to get this nice and hot. Shimmy your oil around so it doesn't stick. All right, it's a good, important tip of stir fry, just having everything ready to go. All right, so you don't want to stuff around. Just going to get that nice and hot. More fish sauce too. Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm on.
Apologies.
I'm going to turn the fan on because obviously it's going to be getting nice and hot. Dusty spoon. We want to see some smoke coming up the wok before we put anything in. All right, we're just going to. I know a lot of people think you have to stir fry. We want to make sure we're frying up our meat in particular, and then we'll do the stir. Now I can start to see some smoke appearing on my wok. Right, that's a good entry point for our mince. What I'm going to do is, for example, just chuck that in. We're just going to let that sit, let that fry. Right, we want to get the frying element done.
I'm sitting in the kitchen.
Is that up there?
I'll be obvious. Yeah, he'll bring me back. Feel bad for that.
Yeah, I will. All right, so let that fry and do its thing. All right, you can see the colour of the mince changing up the side. All right, we don't want to touch it yet. Let it go. All right, once you're coming up the sides a bit, you'll know it's getting close to ready just to start really mixing. Want to get some nice bit of colour. Just let it go for a bit. Pull back the other. What? I'm going to just start mixing mine now. Or even just flipping it over, and you can get some really good colour on that bottom edge with your mince. So what we're going to do now is just brown that off, just give it a good mix up. Try and get that uncooked side over the over into the pan. Just going to add a touch more oil to mine. It's a bit dry. All right. What we're going to do now is add the paste in. Just bear with me. Give that a good mix around. At this point in time as well, you can chuck your beans in. So I just want to get a bit of heat into those. Try and break up that mince as you go along. Smelling pretty good, so we know we're close. All right, we're going to put in our two sauces now. So you probably want 3 parts fish sauce to 1 part oyster sauce. All right, so 3 tablespoons of fish sauce and 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce. Going to put you down for a minute and just get that done. Good splash, good whack of fish sauce. That's your saltiness. We've used a good glug of that. Oyster sauce, so a third of what you just put in. So just probably one glug. Give that a mix. Let that do its thing. pretty happy with that. So at this point, it's heat off. What you can do is hit that with a whole heap of lime juice. I'm going to start with one. Then we'll have a taste and readjust the seasoning if we need to. You might even put a little bit of sugar in, just depending. As they say, it's all about balance. Yeah, we're getting close. Give that another good mix. Grab a spoon. Have a good taste. I'm going to put the other lime in, but other than that, it's tasting pretty delicious. All right. So at this point in time, what you want to do is turn your fan on, bring your wok over, or if you want to take your other stuff over. So what you can do is now is you can add 2 good tablespoons of that rice powder. All right, that goes in. And also chuck in all your other bits and pieces, so your lemongrass, your herbs, your whatnot. Give that a good mix. Now that rice powder will suck up some of the excess moisture in your dish, so it has two kind of purposes. All right, so just as back.
Good timing.
Good timing. So you can see I've just mixed everything together in the wok. Now, if you wanted to take it in that dish, we're not going to bother.
Oh.
It's going to go straight into the bowls.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Larb Gai.
Serve them up.
Serve them up. A couple of big spoons. Be generous.
It's salad.
I don't know if it's a meat salad.
Yeah, meat and salad.
Make friends with it, for sure. So there's that. You can have this with rice as well and other things to bulk it out. But yeah, chuck some peanuts on top or whatnot. Be nice. I will actually put a sprinkle of that little rice powder on top just for some extra flavour. Kind of looks cool as well. Oops, fucked that one up.
We won't check that one.
Yeah. You can also do a wheel of lime in the bowl. Be a bit fancy and just do a cheek. Put that on the side. And grab your fried shallots. Sprinkle them on top. Chili. And Bob's your uncle.
Woo!
Thank you to the 3 of you that are watching. Apologies about my internet. Justin's just on the
I
phone
was
to
on
up
the
this.
phone to Optus.
Yeah. Tag your finished dishes on Moo's Meals and I'll share them to my loyal followers. But no, enjoy. Nice little quick one. I know it took longer than I thought, but these things happen. And if you want to make it next time, obviously you won't have to make the rice as well, so it makes it even quicker again. So put that in a Tupperware container or even a snap-lock bag, and you can use that on any stir fry. Really, will give it extra flavour. It's a big flavour booster. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it. As I said, tag your pictures up.
Good from you, Moo.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
No worries. Enjoy, guys.
Thanks, Kelsey.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
You too, mate.
See you tomorrow. I know I won't, but I'll probably talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah. See ya.
See ya.